Yo, what is up, Yugi fam? Hope everybody's having a great day today. Welcome to another video. Today I have an Invoked Eldlich deck profile to share with you guys. And I think this deck definitely has a place in the metagame. It's very, very powerful. It's taking advantage of some of the strongest engines in the game right now, and I think it's an absolute meta contender for sure. So, if you guys do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Would be much appreciated. We're almost at 1K, so close. Thank you guys so much for all the continued support, the positive feedback, and yeah, let's get right into it. Starting off with the main deck, we are at 43 cards. So we have, obviously, I divided the this deck profile into engines, so we're not going to go like monsters and then spells, traps. So we're going to get right into the engines. So I just decided to structure it that way just for this video, see how it works out. So we have 3 Alistair for the Invoke stuff, 3 Meltdown, obviously, Invocate, Terraforming for the Meltdowns, and then 2 Invocation. So this is pretty standard for the for any Invoked list. And then for the Eldlich stuff, we have 2 Lord, only 1 Cursed Eldland. I really don't want to draw this card too often. I still think it's pretty powerful. It's just like another card that your opponent might want to ash. So just decided to play the 1. Obviously, we have 3 Sanguine, the 3 Conquistador, and 2 Hakero. Again, I think this is pretty standard for any Eldlich, maybe Curse Eldland. Some people don't play it, some people play at 1, some people like it at 2. But yeah, that's it for the Eldlich stuff. Here's another broken engine the deck takes advantage of. It's the Magician Souls engine, which is 2 Illusion, 3 Souls, and then I'm playing 2 Prep to be able to search Illusion. I think this engine is insanely good in this deck because of the Eldlich traps, even like your Meltdown stuff, cards that are just hanging on the field or in your hand that want to hit the graveyard, or are just free fodder for Magician Soul, so you're able to like just dig for hand traps or other starters like Meltdown, stuff like that. So I think this card's amazing in this deck. If you have the engine, I highly suggest you test it out. DPE engine, another broken engine in the deck. Yeah, this deck just has like so many insane power cards, just like super high impact cards, and I love it. I love that you have so many cards in this deck that your opponent wants to ash, or can't help but ash Blossom. But yeah, this is just a really good engine, just more draw power in the grind game, and yeah, DPE is insane. I think this is the last portion of the deck. We have the hand traps, we have 3 Ash, 3 Imperm. I'm playing 3 Nib in the main deck. I still feel like this is a very powerful card. Like, I know that the Brave engine exists, and I that's a valid reason not to really main this card, but I still feel like this card is still insane, because if they don't have the Brave engine, this card's super high impact against like the top decks right now, being PK Brave and Prank Kids Brave, because they don't really set up a monster negate. Their only negate is Griffin. But you have to have the engine. I know the engine's consistent, like you have 7 ways actually with Foolish Burial. But again, if they don't have it and you have the Nib, it's just super high impact. Plus, if you draw like Imperm Nib, that combo is still insane. That hand trap combo. The last 3 cards, which I guess if you did want to cut something out, it could be one of these hand traps or the droplets, to make it an even 40. But yeah, I'm playing Droplet in the main deck. Droplet is really good in this deck too because of the Eldlich stuff, but also I think it's necessary in today's meta game, just against like all the DPE Scythe locks. You just want to have an answer for it, and it's nice that you have 6 cards that you can draw as your like top deck going second. You have 6 ways to be able to like counter at least like DPE scythe. The preferred one is the droplet because you could prevent Griffin from negating. So if they do have Griffin on the field, droplet can stop the Griffin, obviously. For the extra deck, starting off with the fusions, we have 2 Mechaba, 1 Agoides. Again, just pretty standard. I think even in my previous like Invoke deck list, this was the standard for the Invoke stuff. Just like Mechaba, having the double Mechaba, like for the grind game in case you want to reestablish a negate, and then Agoides to be able to break boards and push for game. The DPE for the last fusion. So that is it for the fusions. For the links, for the link ones, we have 1 Artemis, we have 1 Link Spider, and then this is sort of like a flex spot. I'm running 1 Anima because we have the Magician Souls. So going second, you can like make this, and if your opponent like doesn't play around Anima, which nobody really does because Anima hasn't been in like the meta. So I mean, less people are playing around uh, Anima, so it's nice to be able to just like catch your opponent off guard and have access to this card. This card can literally be anything though, anything else. Um, so yeah, that's the flex spot, I guess. 1 Verte, obviously for the DPE. 1 Dark. I think this card's pretty strong in this deck. I mean, we run like Magician Souls, Alistair's a Dark. This is mainly to be able to just take your opponent's like DPE, maybe their Verte and their graveyard, and instantly go into access code, or like Unicorn or anything like that, or take their DPE and then use the DPE. Yeah, I think that's pretty strong. So yeah, 1 Dark, and then all utility stuff. You have a lot of space for utility extra deck monsters. So we have the Phoenix, we have the Unicorn, and access code for the Only Link 4. And then for the Xyz, we have Rail Cannon, Gustav Max, we have Juggernaut, and then we have the Zeus. So this is mainly for Golden Lord. If you have 2 Golden Lords, you can get access to this engine right here, which is pretty strong. Again, you have plenty of space in the extra deck if you guys wanted to play around with anything else. So yeah, that's my extra deck though. I think it's pretty solid. I think like you have answers to everything. So this is what I decided to go with. So that was it for the main deck and extra deck. Let's get into some test hands. Alright guys, test hand number 1. I did want to mention that if you want to cut the deck down to 40 and also substitute something else for the Magician Souls engine, you could play 3 Prosperity. So if you have access to Prosperity, you could just play 3 of that. You can't play Prosperity and Souls in the same build because they might conflict. If you souls into Prosperity, you can't resolve Prosperity, and yeah, if you have Magician Souls and Prosperity in the same hand, Souls would still act as an extender, which is decent, I guess. But yeah, you wouldn't be able to resolve both effects in the same turn. So just keep that in mind. You can choose one engine over the other. You definitely have plenty of like extra deck monsters that you're able to banish for Prosperity. So whatever your personal preference is, I just like that Magician Souls has some decent synergy with the Eldlich stuff, since you could just like send the traps to the grave and gain their effects. So you literally lose no card advantage whatsoever. So I thought that was just a very, very like high impact, duo, I guess. They complement each other very nicely. So. All right, so first test hand, here we go. We have a decent test hand. We have 2 hand traps, 2 defensive cards, which is really nice. 2 ways to Alistair, and we have the DPE. So this is this is a very simple hand here. So I don't know if the opponent would ash this. And either way, if they do have the Droll, you kind of lose to Droll anyway. Well, you don't lose to Droll, obviously, because you have these 3 cards, but this engine will lose to Droll either way. So if you go this to Meltdown, and then activate Meltdown, and then on resolution they droll you. You can't search for Alistair. You could argue this is probably the better play, because you can just go Meltdown, search Alistair, and then if they droll you, you could at least set the Alistair, and then it could get flipped face up if they attack into it. Or if they have like double droll, it's better to activate Meltdown. That way you'll have Alistair, and then you could just normal summon Alistair, search Invocation. If they droll you again, it really doesn't matter at that point. So I guess we'll go with that logic. So we'll activate the Meltdown here, and we'll just search our Alistair. And then normal summon Alistair. That is the famous quote. And then we'll search our Invocation. Again, just a very simple line of play here. Simple but powerful. Definitely powerful. So we'll go into our Artemis, and then obviously we'll activate the Invocation, banishing the Artemis and the Alistair. Summon the Mechaba, I guess, in defense to play around a main deck Lightning Storm. Effective Invocation, shuffling it back into the deck to adding back the Alistair, and then activating the Destiny to send our Dasher and our Celestial. So honestly, one other thing that's very, very powerful about the Souls engine is that Illusion can put back these guys to the top of the deck, and then you could just keep Illusion in the hand for a follow-up to be able to search Souls again. That's what I really like about this card. This card's like, it has so much utility, which is amazing. So we send that to summon our DPE. And yeah, that's the end of the combo. We have the Imperm and then the Nib. I like the interaction with Nib and DPE. Chances are you're going to use DPE early on in the turn, and then you could Nib, and then as long as this fulfilled its negate, it doesn't really matter. We can like negate a spell even, because we kept the terraforming. So Mechaba can have the option to negate a spell or a monster effect. And because we have the Imperm already, we could probably just negate a spell. That way we keep Alistair in hand for a normal summon, for a follow-up. So yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good test hand number 1. Let's get into test hand number 2. Alright guys, here we go. Test hand number 2. Hopefully we can keep this going, showcase maybe some of the other engines possibly if we draw into them. Yeah, I think this is a pretty decent build. I mean, it might not be the best build. I feel pretty good about it. I just know that there are other, builds that people might prefer. Maybe like the Invoked Dogmatica stuff, because you get to play Winda. But yeah, let's get into test hand number 2. We have Alistair, Eldlich, Souls. Oh, this hand is nice. Oh, this hand. So we'll be able to showcase 3 engines, which is really good. First thing I'm gonna do is activate the Eldlich. I'd rather they Ash this than Ash the Alistair. So we'll just go and search the. We can search Hakero. We can search. I mean, we have so much, so we can just search. We could just search the pop here, and we can go Alistair, and then we could search our Invocation. Yeah, so we have all our engines online with this particular hand, which I love. And then we can just go Souls. We could reveal Souls to send our Illusion. This is nice. We get to deck thin a little bit before we commit to the Souls draw. So hopefully gives us a higher chance to draw into, like, say, hand traps. Or just good follow-up cards. Even though we have all the follow-up in the world with this hand. So now we can, I guess we can resolve Souls here. I guess I'll just send Sanguine, and we could keep this. I don't see. I mean, we could keep this. Could be a follow up, but I don't think it matters. So we'll just do another cut, and we'll draw our two cards. So we'll draw Meltdown and Nib. Okay, so we got one hand trap, which is decent, and we also have another follow up in the form of Meltdown. You could just activate it now if you want to, just to have like the other monster in hand. That way you can if you needed Alistair for its hand trap effect, you can just keep an Alistair for the hand trap, and then if you needed to negate a monster effect, you have the second Alistair. Or the Nib if the Nib doesn't come up. So now we can link Alistair into the Artemis before linking both of them into a Verte. Yeah, this end board's gonna be really, really nice. Now we can just go for the Invocation here, just to get access to our Mechaba as soon as possible. Banishing the Artemis and the Alistair, and then activate Invocation. Add back the Alistair. And then we can go Verte. And then summon our DPE. And then we have... oh, by the way, it's not that I forgot to activate this. I just found no need to activate this because I don't want to burn through my engine. So that's the reason that I didn't activate it. I didn't like forget. I just chose not to activate it because like end phase, we're going to be able to banish this to have access to the Hakero, and then we have like 3 of our Eldlich engine cards, so there was just no need. I mean, the only thing I can think of is if I were going second, I would activate this to dump Lord, and then I can send like the Meltdown or send any one of these to summon the Lord to push for damage, or just to like help Link climb. But because we're going first, I just didn't find like a need to use it. So anyway, set 2. And then we'll move on to the end phase, and then we'll banish the Eldlich here, and we can just set the Hakero. So now we have all the pieces to the puzzle. We have Golden Lord, Conquistador, and Hakero. So we have a banish, a pop, another pop, a negate, and a Nibiru in hand with plenty of follow-up. If you do want to play around, say, Super Poly, end phase, you could just pop this and this. And then what's really nice with DPE is that, like, say you didn't open up like souls, but you needed these traps in the graveyard. End phase, you could always just go like pop like one of the traps just to get your engine going, which is really good. It's one of the reasons I like DPE with the Eldlich stuff. So yeah, we have so much interruption, so much disruption, and then in addition to that, we have like the draw 2, we have Alistair, we have the Eldlich, we're going to have Golden Lord, we have a recurring DPE. So yeah, that was a great test hand. Let's do one more. Alright guys, final test hand. Again guys, if you do appreciate videos like these where I do just go in depth with deck profiles and showcase test hands to give you a better understanding of how a deck functions, consider subscribing and liking the video. That would be much appreciated. So here we go, last test hand. Let's hope we finish strong. Might give a cut, and 5 card starting hand. First card, Ash Blossom. Second card, Eldland. Meltdown, and Lord. Alright, so we don't have like everything, but we have enough with this hand. I mean, we do have Lord. Actually, drawing Lord in this situation is actually pretty good because, well, actually, I'll just show you guys why. So we'll go Alistair effect, and then search the Invocation. I guess activate Eldlin first. As I mentioned before, I guess you want to activate Eldlin first to avoid getting Ash. So I guess we should have done that before. Um, I like this. This hand's pretty decent because we'll have access to, uh, I think, all three of our engines again. It might seem like a little uh, minus, I guess, in the beginning, just because of what I'm about to do. So I think we go, yeah, we'll go Lord here, and Lord will pitch the other Meltdown, and we'll target the Eldlin, and then that's going to trigger Eldlin, and we're going to send a Hakero. And then we'll go Lord effect here to summon itself by sending the Meltdown, and then we'll make Artemis, and then link these two up for Verte, and then we'll go Invocation here, banish, summon. The reason that I did that is because I needed Lord to make Verte, and I really wanted to get access to like all the engines. You could have technically played it a little safer, but I don't think that would have mattered. I think like you would have been able to keep Meltdown in on field, and you would have been able to keep. Yeah, no, I think this was a better play. I definitely think so. I want to have access to the DPE. Just such a powerful engine. Oh, we already sent Fusion Destiny. Okay, so yeah, we set the conch, and oh yeah, this is in the graveyard, so effect to add the Alistair back, and then end phase we just banish the Hakero to get access to our Eldlixir, and we could either revive Lord from grave or deck, or summon the second one from deck. So yeah, guys, I think that was pretty awesome because we still got access to um, Golden Lord and Conquistador. So that's one disruption. We have Ash Blossom for the second. We have DPE for the third, and then Mechaba for the last disruption. And again, just going over our follow up, we have the draw 2, and we have the DPE, and we have the Eldlich engine. If we ash them and we use the Alistair, we probably won't have like an Alistair follow-up unless we like top deck an Alistair or a Terraforming or a Meltdown, but that's totally fine. I mean, we actually have like everything that we need. I mean, we'll have the draw 2, we'll have the Eldlich stuff, so I think that's pretty good. I honestly think those first test hand was a little on the weaker side. Last two test hands were really good. I think the second test hand was probably the best one, even though the last test hand, opening up Lord and like an extra Meltdown allowed us to be able to just, get access to everything, which is amazing. Hopefully this has convinced you that the deck is consistent enough to compete and puts up enough disruptions and has an amazing grind game. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.